Surviving 24 hours in the most haunted house on earth, they call it the Blackwood Manor, a crumbling Victorian mansion that sits at the edge of a fog-choked forest. Locals refuse to go near it after dark. Some say the house was built on cursed land. Others whisper that the original family, the Blackwoods, were found dead inside, their eyes wide open, their mouths twisted into silent screams. The challenge was simple: spend 24 hours inside, no leaving, no exceptions. If I made it through, I'd earn bragging rights, and if the legends were true, maybe even an audience with whatever still lingers there. Hour 1, 3. The arrival. The house groaned as I pushed open the door. Dust swirled in the faint light, and the air smelled like damp rot. My flashlight beam swept across portraits on the wall, eyes that seemed to follow me wherever I moved. The silence was heavy, almost angry. A clock in the hallway ticked, though no one had wound it in decades. Hour 4 to 7, the first signs I set up camp in the dining room. The table was still set, though the plates were cracked and crawling with cobwebs. At exactly 6:15, I heard silverware clattering. I froze. There, at the head of the table, the outline of a man in a suit flickered into existence. His face blurred as if my eyes weren't allowed to focus on it. When I blinked, he was gone, but the chair still rocked back and forth. Hour 8:12. The basement. The locals warned me never to go downstairs, so of course I went. The basement stank of iron, blood. Chains hung from the ceiling, and the walls were carved with strange symbols. My flashlight caught movement in the corner. At first I thought it was just rat, until one of them turned its head. It had human eyes. I bolted upstairs, the sound of laughter echoing behind me. Our 13:18, the witching hour, midnight. The walls themselves began to breathe. Doors slammed on their own. My equipment picked up static screams that weren't coming from any device I had. In the library, I found a diary. The last entry was written in a shaking hand. "It will not let us leave. It feeds when we are afraid." As I read, the fire in the hearth roared to life. Shadows danced across the walls, forming shapes, people hanging, people burning, people begging. And then they all turned to look at me. Our 1923, the possession. I must have dozed off because I woke up to scratching. Not at the door, not on the walls. Inside my skin, I tore off my sleeve and saw thin letters being carved across my arm as if by invisible blades. "Stay." The air grew ice cold. My breath fogged in front of me. A voice whispered in my ear, "You belong to the house now." Hour 24. The escape. The final hour. My phone alarm rang. Sunrise. The door I'd entered was open, though I never touched it. I staggered outside, the weight of the house finally lifting. When I looked back, Blackwood Manor was silent. Empty watching. But here's the worst part. When I checked the footage later, it didn't show me alone. In every single clip, there was a pale figure standing just behind me, smiling.